cloud. Houses being bought, houses being rented.
Right.
What's your secret, man? What's your secret?
It's consistency. Treat people good, and they keep coming back to you. 90 to 95% of my business since I started over the last 18 years has been referrals. And giving information without forcing it down people's throats. I'm a guide, I'm a resource. Selling is easy. The house and the apartment sell themselves. You just have to give the proper information and present it the right way. And, I like to consider myself a wealth of knowledge. I grew up in real estate. My mom and dad have been licensed brokers since 1973. And I picked it up from a very young age and I took a liking to it. We do a lot of promoting, just resources, how to buy a home, when's a good time to buy a home. There's never a bad time to buy a home. Right now, interest rates are very, very low. Money, I like to say, is free. The rates for an FHA mortgage, depending on your credit, are in the low twos. If you're going conventional, the rates are anywhere between, again, 2.25% to 3%. So these are unprecedented times. Where I am is a suburb outside of Manhattan. We're about 25 minutes from the city. A lot of people are leaving closer quarters in Brooklyn and Manhattan and using Staten Island and obviously Long Island as a place to move to because of the more open proximity and being spread out. And you're still close enough to commute if you work in the city. It's a great place. And Staten Island's made up of a lot of civil service workers and city workers, nurses, doctors. So we haven't been hit as hard as other boroughs. So we have a very strong pool of buyers and sellers it's been consistent. This year has been one of my, sorry about that. This has been one of my best years in the last 4, even though there's been a pandemic. Money being cheap is a reason. Another reason is a lot of people want to get out of, again, the close quarters of living tight. And in those buildings, you can get a lot more in Staten Island for your money than you can in Manhattan and even Brooklyn.
Well, it's funny. It's in speaking to you, and obviously, I grew up in Brooklyn. So, and if all you couldn't tell by my accent, whatever. It's funny you say that because I've never heard Staten Island be called a suburb. No offense to the people in Staten Island. I've been there. I've visited. I have some family, some friends there. But it's amazing to me that you hear about everything that's going on right now, and again, what your reps, your agents, your brokers, they're killing it. Even some of your new brokers. I think I saw Samantha Calkin. She got her first sale, or Teresa Barbarito. She got her first sale. How are they doing it? Again, yes, it's consistency. You've been around for a long time. But, Greg, why, if I'm buying a home or selling a home, why do I want to go to SI Premiere Properties? And again, we're here with Greg Diaz, broker owner of Staten Island Premiere Properties. You want to find them? It's www.sipremierproperties.com. So, Greg, why would I want to come to you besides the fact that you're so handsome?
Oh, that's number one. We run a family atmosphere style brokerage. And we focus on personalization and excellent customer service. We're on top of the transactions from day one, whether it's a buyer or a seller. We're constantly in front of people, helping people, answering questions. My phone rings and text goes off 24/7. And unless I'm sleeping, and even later at night, I answer a lot of questions for people just to ease people's concerns. It's a very strenuous process. You let it be. But if you let the professional guide you the right way, that's what we specialize in, giving guidance and our expertise and knowledge. Again, the houses sell themselves. The information's available on the internet. We have to separate ourselves as a smaller company. So service is number one, trust, integrity. I know it sounds like a commercial, but we really focus on that family atmosphere. I have a motto: you're only as good as your last deal. So you treat everybody, whether they're buying $1 million home or renting an apartment for $1,000, we give everybody the same type of service. That's why I've been successful and been able to stay in the top 1 to 2% of selling agent brokers over the last 15 years as an individual. Now I'm trying to get my agents and representatives to get to that level. I'm taking more of an active role as a broker. So what I'm doing is providing, again, one-to-one weekly meetings with my agents and trainings. I send information on seminars, and I provide information every week that's new and relevant to the market that's ever changing. So again, what I do, I focus on not just service of my clients, but of my agents being available. A lot of brokers, you can't get them on the phone, is what I've been told over the years. Well, why would you want to work for me? Because you can get in contact with me. I'll give you the help that you need. I'll be there for you. I'll cover showings. I'll go and put a lockbox on it 7 o'clock at night if you can't get there. I do the little things that, and there are many brokers who do good jobs. I could name a lot of names, and that's another thing. I have a good relationship with the majority of brokers in Staten Island, so it makes it easy to do business when you get along with these brokers and agents. They let me into their deals. I let them into my deals. We help each other. We share in the profits, and we help each other. And what I've noticed over the last year, there's been a lot of agents who really genuinely have been cheering each other on and supporting each other. And the level of professionalism in a certain level of agents and circle of people has grown. There's a lot more camaraderie, I noticed, over the last 8 to 10 months since this pandemic really hit home. A lot of us just, bonded together and said, let's help each other out. There's enough money to be made and enough food on the table for all of us. It used to be more divisive. That's one thing I think this pandemic has done, is brought a lot of us Staten Island brokers together. And, that's a good thing. We need unity in Staten Island. It's a small place, but it's been divided, I feel, a lot.
Well, that's going to be key going forward. I mean, you brought up a couple of good points, the divisiveness of, the brokers. I mean, it's just in everywhere. So it doesn't really matter what you're doing, but, maybe now it's, through the pandemic, part of the reason of them looking to work with other brokers might be, hey, if I work this thing myself, it may never happen. Or, hey, Greg has an opportunity and I know these people, let me bring them in. So, the working together is could be a direct result of what's going on. It could be a direct result of, it needs to happen.
Right.
Now the question really begs to, again, whenever we get out of the apocalypse, whoever knows when it is, I don't know, it doesn't really matter. It's whatever. Will this type of behavior continue? Obviously, we want it to continue. And then, one of the other things that you mentioned, and you're the second or third person that has said this during our interviews here, is that support is a huge issue, whether it's, and I don't care what you do, not you personally, I'm just talking about in general for people that are working, people have forgotten about customer service, customer support. It's the key in everything. If you support someone, if you service them correctly, they're going to send you referrals. And I notice a lot of, we keep up on your post, and we like as many as we can. We comment on the ones you talk about, except when you talk about my 1 in 13 Jets, but we'll leave that alone. But the reality is, you're out there, right? You're doing it. I just saw this morning, you closed a deal that I think took 6 months, maybe.
We got the close yesterday. It started in July, right in the middle of the pandemic. And, the mortgage broker and the other realtor were great. And we were a team. Again, it's easy to sell a home in a good market when there's no challenges. Anybody could do that. And I don't mean anybody, but you know what? There are brokers who are more successful. And obviously when it's easy, I've been through every type of market up and down. So I'm prepared for anything. But this was different because we weren't allowed to go in person as much and meet as many people, and we couldn't do open houses. So you really had to reinvent yourself on the fly. And I'm not great with virtual tours. I don't like going on video as much. Now I'm more comfortable thanks to you and, the networking group we were in, and we've been in and been going on Zoom calls every other week. You have to just be able to adjust in any industry. You have to adjust on the fly. Technology can either be your friend if you embrace it, or it could be your enemy. And you have to embrace change. People who aren't willing to change will get left behind and their business will suffer. This is 2020. You need digital marketing, digital cards. I can't tell you how much of a blessing it has been to meet you and get the digital aspect of my marketing as another tool in my arsenal. I love that I could just send a card to 1,000 people in one text if I wanted to. Group text, here's my card to a bunch of friends. Or when you meet someone, hey, I can't tell you, Steve, there's a guy, John introduces me to Mary. Here's Greg Diaz. All right, well, here's my digital card. I don't have to, I'll meet you and give you my business card. I can meet you right now on a Zoom call and then send you my card. You have to adjust and adapt. Adjustability and adaptability is key in any business, but in sales, again, if you don't adapt, you get left behind. And thankfully I've always been decent with the computer, but this has forced me to become even better at certain things. And I'm always looking to learn and grow. And, you've been a blessing and your company's phenomenal. What you provide for the cost, and there's not a better marketing solution than the digital card that you provide for the amount of money, for the cost effectiveness of it, and the amount of people you could reach that cheap. I don't know why everybody who's in any type of sales job doesn't have one. It just doesn't make sense not to in this climate. And going
Well,
forward,
hey, listen, that's everybody has their own choice, but I couldn't agree with you more. And
doesn't
it's funny, and when you think about it, Greg, really, in this market, forget it. Well, we can't forget about the pandemic, but we know what's going on. But if you look at, and again, this is what amazes me the most about, SI Premier Properties. Again, it's Greg Diaz, broker owner, Staten Island Premier Properties, www.sipremierproperties.com. Visit them. Trust me, they got about 15 agents right now, if I'm not mistaken, maybe more. But what amazes me is that not only are you closing deals and every day we see a new home up for sale, reduced price, up, for rent, and it's gone within minutes. And what amazes me is that you're doing all of this not only during a pandemic, but you're doing it as people are running the hell out of the city and running out of New York State, period.
Let's put a positive spin on that. There are a lot of people leaving, but there are people who are coming to Staten Island. This is where I focus. And there are a lot of people who don't or can't leave New York City. So affordability wise and for your money, Staten Island compared to the outer boroughs is a really good opportunity, an option. So I've been blessed with the opportunity, and I'm a native Staten Islander. So it's not all doom and gloom. The market's great right now. I would say it's a good market for both. Right now, the prices are really high and the rates are really low. So usually it's a stronger seller's market than a buyer's market, obviously, when you hear the word price. But the affordability index is at like an all-time low. What you can get for your money because the rates being so low. A house you could have bought a year ago for $400,000 at 3 or 3.5%, now at 2.5%. That gives you almost $100,000 buying power in a mortgage over 30 years. So you could buy more for your money and qualify for a higher loan. I don't know how long these rates are going to last. And again, I'm not a mortgage broker. Consult your local mortgage broker or banker. There's so many great ones I could give you if you need. This is a great time to buy a home, again, because money's free. Even if the prices go down, we did a study and I did a workup about a month ago and I posted it. If the prices were to go down, say 10%, but the rates went up a point, your payment is still cheaper today than it will be in a year at a higher rate and a lower price. So yes, you can refinance the mortgage, but we have no guarantee that the rates will ever be this low for a long time. I'm not going to say ever again. That's like a scare tactic. I don't operate on fear. That's another reason why I'm successful. I don't read the media clippings. Every year the market's been crashing since I started. And I've lived through every market, buyer's market, seller's markets. I've handled short sales, foreclosures. I've done it all. There's never a bad time to buy or sell a home. You just have to have realistic expectations of the market that you're in. And I'm the type of person, I'll tell you, listen, maybe right now might not be the right time for you to buy or sell, but when it is, if this is what you're looking to do and you're realistic, we can get it done for you. But again, I don't live in fear and operate off of fear. People walk into listing appointments, sell your house, the market's going to dip 20%. Nobody knows that for sure. I can't live like that.
Sure.
And, I don't like to mislead people and scaring people. You're more likely to turn them off than you are to draw them in as a client. When I go on a listing, I can tell you this is my guess, but I can't give you a guarantee that I think personally we're in for a little rougher waters in the next 6 to 9 months because CoreLogic came out with a study about a month ago that's approximately 7 to 10 homeowners are behind on their mortgage. I got this from an appraiser. I met him at an appraisal actually for the house that I'm buying. I'm supposed to close next week. He said, homeowners are delinquent, about 70%. That's because of the pandemic, a lot of
sure.
employment lapses, unemployment, people getting laid off, then going back to work, try catching up on your mortgage after 4 months of being out of work. It's hard to come up with $10,000, $15,000 when you haven't been working. So will there be some relief and some light at the end of the tunnel? Will those numbers even out? That will determine how bad of a market correction or I don't want to say crash because that's a scary word, but a market correction we have. If that number goes closer to 40% instead of 70% after everything is sorted out, we get some relief and some, the job market opens up again for a lot of these people. And I have a lot of friends who own restaurants, and these small businesses are getting crippled. And I don't want to make this a political, but it's just sad what's going on.
Sure,
But
sure. And I don't know if you ever have any idea of expanding into Florida, but I got to tell you, the market here is ridiculous. When I say ridiculous, I mean it in a ridiculous way. I mean, listen, we live in a subdivision out here in outside of Tampa, about I don't know, 30 minutes north of Tampa. And there was a house across the street for sale. One day,
right,
next day, gone.
God,
Then there was a house, up just the other day, they put this house on the sale. These people were moving out, and well, they moved out. They have this lakefront property, and it's a big piece of property. And I looked at the house, and not to buy it, but I just looked at the house, and it's 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2,200 square feet. They were asking $498.
wow,
Okay,
cheap.
498. 498. Within 24 hours, they had a pending sale.
Absolutely,
It's incredible. It's incredible.
I could tell you, I think the prices are going to correct a little bit, but I don't think the rates are going to move drastically. But even if the rates move 0.5%, you're going to price a lot of people out of the market in the certain range they were looking. So they're going to have to,
Sure.
They'll readjust what they could buy and spend. If they have to move, they'll find something and they'll move. I don't think you're going to have a collapse. I do think there will be a price correction and a rate adjustment, which will benefit some people as buyers, and sellers will just either stay where they are, or just, again, lower their expectation. Because sorry about that, I had an income. If something goes
Tell them
down,
to stop bothering you. You're in the middle of an interview. Tell them to leave you alone.
if something goes down in price to sell, when you're buying, it's going to go down to buy. So not everything is necessarily bad. If you're downsizing, it might be a good. If you're upsizing, it might be a good thing. If you're downsizing,
Sure.
it might not be. If you're selling something for $5 that's now worth $470, but you were buying for $8, that went down more. Use 10% as the curve, so that's now worth $750. Let's say it doesn't hurt you as much. But if the rate's that much higher, then your affordability is what goes down.
Right. And I hope, I'm going to look to my left a second, because we've been getting some comments from some people. Michael Fusco, who says Greg knows his market better than most realtors and has a lot of great resources at his fingertips to help his clients. He is very experienced and trustworthy, which is why you'd be in great hands if you chose him as a realtor. That's a great little comment. You think people don't watch this stuff? Trust me, Greg.
No,
people are watching you. People are watching you here. Another guy saying positive waves. We'll get more people, but we'll get views after on the recording. It's early. It's Wednesday morning. I don't know what the hell people are doing today. But
the idea is to help people. If I could give information to people and it helps them, even if they don't see it today, it's tomorrow. I'm here as a resource for anybody, and whether it's Florida, New York, New Jersey, I help people all over the country, and even other brokers here. I'm always taking calls. What do you think of this? What do you think of that? I'm always here as a resource for anybody. I firmly believe what you put out is what you get back. And if you help people, it comes back to you. It's not always about making that sale tomorrow. It's planting seeds today, which you could harvest tomorrow and a year from now. I have clients who've told me 3 years ago, call me in 3 years. I call them, you get a listing. Not everything happens overnight. That's
sure. Listen, it's all, something, again, this goes out, like all these conversations I've been having. We live in this microwave society. Everybody wants instant gratification now. Nobody wants to wait. And the reality is, okay, for everyone out there listening, we're not playing the short game, right? We're playing the long game here. So, stay into it. Don't give up. I know Greg's over there talking to his daughter because she probably wants to get on the video. You can bring her on, man. It's okay. But we're playing the long game. And one of the main keys, again, no matter what you do, whether you're selling insurance, whether you're selling coaching, whether you're selling real estate, digital cards, support and service. Okay. And that's, if you ask me, I'm going to say it myself, but on our digital cards, what separates us, besides the fact that we're a great product and there's not that many that compete with us in our web-based area. Yeah, there are apps out there, but good luck with those and the security issues. But support is forget about the pricing, which is the lowest out there. But support is what separates us from anybody else out there. Okay.
You know
And,
what else?
what's that?
Your turnaround times and consistency is amazing. When somebody
Thank you.
wants to add or update a card, it's done within a few hours. And I don't know anyone in any other business that could turn things around that quick. And I'll tell you, this is a message to anyone in sales. The other thing that's important is consistency. Stay in front of people. If you don't have a lot of business, but you have a following, a strong database, and you hit a rut, call all your clients. Now's the right time. You're home. It's the day before Christmas Eve. Make 10 or 20, 30 calls, or send a text, say thank you for your business. And just, that's another thing I do. I've written handwritten note cards. I've sent thank you text messages, video text. You adapt, you adjust, and you just have to show gratitude. When you're grateful to people, it just comes back to you tenfold. And again, not everything is going to happen tomorrow. I'm working on listings for 5 months from now, and people I've been talking to for a year. And when it happens, it happens. You just got to stay consistent in your efforts, grateful, and and you have to show support and always be willing to help and lend a hand to other people.
And and this is why we're doing these interviews, Greg. It's yeah, we could sit and talk about the card, but what I've been trying to do over the last week is really give our customers exposure. I want people to meet regular people who have our cards. We've had,
Right.
We have you on today. We had the doctor last night with his health app, which
Right.
again, you're crazy if you don't even look into subscribing to that thing for $29 a
And
month.
I was on. Sal's awesome. Sal's a great
We've had
business.
Sal on. We've had, Joe Pizzamente with the money
Yeah.
saving and the
And
other
Mike.
things, Michael Fusco. And I got to tell you, we have a lot more coming up.
Right.
Sunday morning, we have a special guest, and I'm just going to pitch it out there now. But Sunday morning, we have a 2003 Super Bowl champion that's going to be on before football. And we're going to talk about football and some other things. But, Greg,
Cool.
it just amazes me how, you've stayed consistent.
Right.
And for as long as I've known you, you're always the same guy. You're even, you don't get too mad. You don't get too happy.
That way, it takes time and growth in life, and you have to really, every day you learn something new. And I'm not the same person I was even a year ago and 3 years ago. I wasn't always even, and I'm not always even. We all have our moments, but you have to you have to stay consistent, and you have to let things roll. Being in sales, it's a high pressure, high stress job, but you know what?
Sure.
Not everything works. Not everything is meant to happen. You can't close every deal. You have to just focus on the positive, the deals that are worth chasing. You can't chase everything. You have to just stay focused on what's important. And again, you service the people who want to work and are willing to put the effort in. You can't close everybody.
Well, and for all of you realtors out there that are listening that happen to know Greg, because I hope he posts this recording, if you don't have a digital card from us, that's okay. I'm okay. I'm really okay with that. But you need to ask Greg why he has 15, why every single agent he brings on board has a digital card. So, Greg, any final thoughts before we go? I know how much you love the card. I know how, we've become close friends throughout this. And if you have anything you want to add before we shut it down for the holiday, just go ahead and add it.
I just want to say thank you to all my friends, all my coworkers, realtors I know, friends, family. I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, whatever you celebrate, Happy Holidays. Better times are ahead. And, if anybody needs my help in any way, I service all of Staten Island. I can be reached at 347-297-1075. You could text me, call me, or just say hello. All right. Again, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays.
When we're done, I am actually going to post your card up in the comments. So you can actually click on the link, save Greg's card, scan his card to your phone, save it. You're going to need it. Greg Diaz, happy holidays to you and your family. Thank you for coming on board, man. God bless you guys. All right.
You too. Thank you.
Peace, man.
Bye.